All right, and we are back in the kitchen. It is the final Friday of the month. We are going to finish off the month with the cooking of the recipe for the month of August, and it is from Iceland. Shout out, John. This is the recipe for Icelandic fish soup or fiskasúpa. Granted, that would be the end of Zach, so it's going to be. I'm going to swap it out for chicken soup, which is Kjúklingasúpa. John, if I pronounced that badly, I apologize. But here's our recipes. I could not get a celery root, so I did end up with the turnip. But we have all of the stuff, and I'm substituting the various fish for chicken, which will be good. And rye bread, I got just some regular, I think just basic Italian bread, because I'm not a big fan of the flavor of, God, what is... caraway. I could not think of what the rye flavor was. So we're going to grab the spice packet. It is onion, thyme, dill, juniper berry, which I could take or leave, chervil, which I do like, which is kind of licoricey, tarragon, and black pepper. Let's see. So we have August. We have our Icelandic spice blend. Looks nice and green. So we're going to do a lot of prep work. It's going to involve a lot of chopping up of various root vegetables. And then we will get going and go from there. All right, we are over at the prep station. And as you can see, we've got not a whole lot out on the counter right now because there's going to be a lot of chopping and sauteing and the like because we're dealing with some root vegetables, so they will take a while. It said 1 carrot. I usually have baby carrots around because they are a fantastic snack, so I'm just going to use a bunch of them. We've got an onion. It said 2 small yellow potatoes, so I've got pretty much a decent-sized yellow potato. I like potato skin, so I'm just going to leave the skin on, dice up the onion. And then we have, like I said, I couldn't find a celery root, so got us a turnip. Never actually processed the turnip. I know you got to wash it down, peel it, and then we're going to chop it up, probably about half of it because it says to use a cup. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to get it going in the pan with the butter, and then we will go from there. All right, and this is why we are always prepared and why we do things off camera. I had a minor mishap when peeling the turnip, but we are all good and we will soldier on in the pan. And it does say in a large pot, but the pots I have are like this big and I couldn't really get it to film, so a pan will work just fine. We've got 4 tablespoons of butter, which is half a stick, and then in we got our celery, we don't have celery root, but the turnip, the potato, the onion, and the carrot, all relatively diced up. We're going to get them in and we're going to let them saute in the glory that is butter. It says until tender, and the turnip, I did cut it up a little small because the turnip is a pretty hearty root vegetable. So we're going to let this go for a little bit, and then once it is almost forgot, we have to include the Icelandic blend spice packet. Let's just get a little whiff of that. And if you want to use anything like this, like I say, it works out to about a pretty heaping tablespoon in one of these packets. Ooh, it smells nice and green. So you want to use any kind of green seafood type seasoning. That'll be good. So we're going to get that in, and we're going to let that work. I can see and smell the dill. And again, because this recipe originally called for salmon or an Arctic char and things like that. These are spices that are going to be very well set up for seafood, but they will work just fine with chicken as well. So we're going to let this saute for a little bit until everything is tender. Then we're going to be back and we are going to continue the process of making some some Icelandic chicken soup, and I'll hopefully get the pronunciation of that before I actually eat it. But who knows? Only time will tell. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. The turnips, potatoes, carrots, and onions are very much getting to the point of tender. So we are going to begin the next few steps. We've got sherry wine vinegar, or not sherry wine vinegar, just cooking sherry. Don't know where the vinegar came from. And we need 1/3 of a cup. So we've got a little more, but a little sherry never killed anybody. And so we have 1/3. We're going to put that in there, and then we're going to reduce it for about 3 minutes. So we've got that in. Oh, and I love the smell of sherry, that kind of fortified wine flavor, almost vinegar-like. So we've got that incorporated. We will let it go, let it reduce for 3 minutes, and then we will be back, and then we will continue to build our soup. And I cannot wait because this is going to be delicious. Alright, it has been about 3 minutes. The sherry has pretty much reduced, and now the next step is going to be to add the tomato puree, tomato, however you wish to say it. Either or, we've got 8 ounces of it, or 1 cup. The rest of it I did put in a bowl, and I'm going to use it for other things. But in it goes. We've got the tomato puree in there. We're going to get that all incorporated, and that is going to saute together for an additional 3 minutes or so. And then, like with any good recipe, you continually build layers of flavor. After 3 minutes is up and the tomato puree has been incorporated, then we will be back and continue to build onto it. Alright, we are back. It's been another 3 minutes, and it is smelling absolutely delicious in here. We have got the tomatoes in there, and mixing with all that spice. It smells, for lack of a better term, it just smells warm and inviting. I think you guys will understand. So next we're going to put in the 4 cups of vegetable, well, I got broth. I could not find vegetable stock. But 4 cups is exactly what is in this handy-dandy container, so it works out perfectly. And hopefully it also works out perfectly with the room, and it does. Look at that. Alright, so we've got our vegetable stock in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to reduce it to a simmer. Then we have to add the chicken, and then it's a few minutes from there. So we'll be back in a few minutes once this is boiling, and we will continue. Alright, and we are back. It has come to a boil, and I've reduced it to a simmer, and it smells absolutely incredible. Sweet, tomatoey, got a little hint of that spice. We're going to make sure that's centered, and then in there it does say it would be about a pound, excuse me, a pound of different seafoods, but because seafood and I do not get along, we're going to use about a little more because I do love me some chicken. About 1.5 pounds of chicken. We get that in there, and we're going to let it cook away right in the broth, and then we will be back. We will plate, and I will definitely enjoy. And we are back, and it has been bubbling away for, I'd say, a good solid 10 minutes or so. Now, if you're doing it with fish, you only want to do it for about 5 minutes, but because I was doing it with chicken, we're going to let it go a little while longer. So we're going to take it off of the heat. Then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of heavy cream, which will help to thicken it. Get it stirred up, plate it up, and then it's lunchtime. So in we go. And you don't want to pour it in all at once, in the same area. Kind of spread it around, make sure it gets a little more incorporated. Oh, does that look and smell absolutely delicious. So now, that went all over me, but it's alright. Now, time to plate, and then time to eat. Alright. Should be lunchtime, and you can see right there, I forgot to do it over there, but we have a beautiful, warming, there's no doubt it's going to be warming and hearty, bowl of, as best I can pronounce it, so sorry, John, Kjúklingasúpa, or something along those lines. But he broke it down for me. The first part, the supa, is obviously soup, and then the part with the K, kjúklinga, I think, is chicken. But it's very hot, so we're going to eat. And it smells nice, slightly tomatoey. Got that cream flavor, the sweetness of the spice. Oops. Yeah, like wintertime in anywhere in the Northeast, just like in Iceland, wintertime, 100%. 100%. Let's get some turnip, because I do like me some turnip. Really nice. Not too crunchy. A little bit of crunch, but not bad. This is really good. I really like that spice, and it works really well with the chicken. So, yeah. If it's wintertime, I know there are a lot of people here that don't know what winter is, and lucky you. But if it's wintertime, make yourself some really, really good soup. That's all I'm going to say. It's a cure-all. So thanks so much. This was the last Friday in August, and we have had some, well, I'm going to finish off some Icelandic chicken soup. We will see you next time.